Alright, the aim of this video is to define really clearly define what is meant by aggregate supply side policies and have a look at some examples of aggregate supply side policies. So aggregate supply side policies, really critical definition. It's any government initiative, so it has to be a government initiative, not just a firm individually deciding to restructure, designed to reduce the cost of production and improve supply side conditions for businesses, so Australia's productive capacity and living standards can be enhanced over time. So key things: government initiative, reduce cost of production to improve supply side conditions to boost our productive capacity. And you could also talk about anything that's to do with trying to boost the quality and quantity of our productive resources. So any government initiative designed to reduce cost of production, improve supply side conditions and maximise our productive capacity. They aim to increase efficiency, productivity, international competitiveness and living standards. So that is the kind of definition you want for 2 marks about what is the definition and aim of supply side policies. Reduce the cost of production, improve supply side conditions, boost our productive capacity by giving us access to a greater quantity and quality of resources, and therefore help to boost efficiency, productivity and maintain our international competitiveness. Some examples, and we'll look at these in more detail: reducing business taxes to promote investment, government incentives for research and development, all things that are going to shift the supply curve to the right in the long term. Immigration and environmental policies are also examples of supply side policies, giving us a greater access to workers and trying to preserve our environment in the long term. Ways to boost aggregate supply. So productive capacity and aggregate supply can be increased by increasing the amount of resources already available or acquiring and using new ones. So sorry, that language is not right. Productive capacity and aggregate supply can be increased by increasing the use of the amount of resources already available or by acquiring new resources. So that can be done via, for example, trying to boost our participation rates through immigration. Could also be through boosting the pension age or childcare subsidies, something like that. Trying to encourage businesses to increase their initiative and take risks. Discovering new minerals will help us to get access to greater natural resources. Greater conservation, so we don't use up all our resources in the short term, which can affect our prosperity in the long term. Using technology better or creating technological advances. Increase capital or investment expenditure, so we can compile and boost our capital potential. All of these are examples of supply side policies that are going to boost aggregate supply in the long term. Other examples of government policies: lower taxes, so lower company and income taxes. If you're referring to those, we're not talking about the impact they have on demand, we're talking about the impact they can have on participation and productivity and firms' willingness to invest. Subsidies for businesses, again, that's all about trying to lower their costs of production and make them more efficient and more willing to supply. Grants for research and development, so that's trying to lower firms' costs of production so we can improve our export potential. Tax concessions for investment, to try and encourage businesses to invest in certain areas, or encouraging them to invest in like green energy that are going to help our environment in the long term. Infrastructure spending, so trying to promote infrastructure spending, which will also help to boost our productivity because there's less time stuck in traffic and things like that. Training on education, which will boost the skills of our workforce. Reforms to the labour market, and we'll talk about those in a bit more detail, but that's things like enterprise bargaining and productivity-based pay, so people will work harder. Microeconomic reforms, and we're going to study trade liberalisation. Again, that will help boost our productivity because there's more competition and we specialise in areas of comparative advantage. Examples of environmental policies, and we'll look at another one in particular, and immigration. These are all the ways that we're trying to boost our productivity capacity, boosting the 3 Ps: population, productivity, participation. The aim of all aggregate supply side policies: aggregate supply policies are government policies that try and boost business efficiency and increase the productive capacity of the economy. Okay, they're trying to make sure businesses make better use of their resources, that help to reduce cost of production, trying to get businesses to lower their prices by increasing competition. It's about increasing the skills of workers, and it's often about removing barriers that prevent us from being competitive or efficient. So that's when things like trade liberalisation come in, where we lower tariffs on imports, and we are forced to be more competitive. The overall aim of these policies is to increase the supply potential of the economy and achieve a more efficient allocation of resources, making sure that we use our available resources more efficiently and, where possible, get access to more resources as well. Thank you.